Hello, listener. You're listening to a sonic experience like no other, the Better Banking Podcast. Today, we're speaking with Stephen Flores, the support services specialist at Gain Federal Credit Union, and our back office detective. He'll give us a behind-the-scenes look at all the processes it takes for the credit union to keep your money moving and secure, and tell us how he cracked his toughest case. And now, your host, Eric Foster.
Hello and welcome to the Better Banking Podcast. I'm Eric Foster, your host, and behind the scenes, thank goodness, is Producer Rune. How are things in the control booth today, Producer Rune? I saw a lot going on in there.
Oh, hey, I was just submitting our podcast to a couple awards programs, but this year, instead of listening to the podcasts, the judges are putting the producers into gladiator combat. Hold on a second. Are you not edutained? He was not edutained.
Anyway, the Better Banking Podcast is brought to you by Gain Federal Credit Union. That's us. To fulfill our promise to share our financial knowledge for your financial gain. Now, I'm not the expert, but I know the experts, and we bring you the experts to help you manage your money better using useful information and resources. That's a lot, so let me get a coffee and let's get started. Visiting the podcast today is one of our staff members here at Gain. His name is Stephen Flores, and he is a support service specialist. Welcome to the podcast, Stephen.
Thank you for having me, Eric and Rune. Thank you.
Oh, Producer Rune gets a little shout out. Well, he's picking up all the broken glass right now, so he really wasn't paying much attention. Anyway, Stephen, thanks for coming in. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I know you do a lot to serve the members, but let's just get started a little bit about you. When did you begin working at Gain Federal Credit Union?
I started in March of 2017 as a teller.
Yes, I started off as the receptionist and then became a teller, so I'm glad to see you're growing in your role here at the credit union.
That's one thing I've always loved here is I've been able to move up and explore different departments. I've learned a lot.
Other than being a teller, did you have any other jobs here at the credit union?
I became a call center representative for several years, and then about 2 years ago, I moved into the support services role. So far, I've been through 3 different positions here at Gain, and I've loved everyone. I've been a teller, call center rep, and now a support services specialist.
Sounds like you can't hold down a job, Stephen. Just kidding.
I just keep shooting for the stars. See, that's what it is.
Well, watch out. Don't get burned. Anyway, hey, what are the responsibilities and what is support service? What is that department? Because I know we have tellers and I know we have member service specialists. They open new accounts, and I know we have a lending department. What is support services?
Of course. So support services does a lot of our back office work. So we help process like your drafts that come in every day. So if you write a draft to pay your bill.
What is a draft?
Oh, I apologize. Yes. So a draft are your checks that you write out. So most people are going to call them checks. Just in the banking world or credit union world, we call them drafts. We also deal with automatic deposits and withdrawals. So we're making sure you get your paycheck. We're making sure your bills that you're paying online are getting sent out and paid correctly. Or let's say you had fraud on your account. Someone withdrew money, it wasn't yours. With a little bit of form and some knowledge, we go ahead and process that return to get you back your funds. When you order a new card or have issues with your card, also with your card disputes. So let's say you went to the supermarket, got charged twice, and oh no, you can let us know and we'll deal with the dispute to get you back that cash for that second charge.
Support service is like backup or assistance with the frontline staff, the folks who deal directly with the members, and you folks help solve issues that might come up with their accounts or transactions. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. So without the frontline, we wouldn't be able to do our job. Without us, they probably wouldn't be able to do theirs. So it's a big team effort. That's one of the things I've loved about my department is being able to kind of still help out where I came from, because starting out as a teller, a call center representative, but coming from that, I know what I'm looking for, how to help out and make sure our members are getting the best possible service that they can.
So you working in those other various departments gives you insight as to what the member issues could be that helps you do your job today.
Exactly, yes. And then also dealing with those departments helped me meet and interact with our membership. I still know a lot of our member bases based off of those years of being there. So sometimes they'll shoot me a question just like, oh, hey, you know what? My paycheck didn't come in. And I'm like, yeah, let me do some research. I'll reach back out to you later on in the day. So even though I may not be member facing, we're still there for our membership.
Are you tired of overpaying for things? With Benefits Plus, you can get more out of your money and enjoy huge savings on restaurants, stores, supermarkets, amusement parks, and more. All you need to be eligible is your GAIN membership. To learn more about Benefits Plus, visit gainfcu.com/benefits-plus.
Want to talk a little bit about the call center. So you spent some time in the call center, and I get that the call center answers phones, right? Phone calls coming in from the members. What other areas does the call center engage in?
Call center deals with wires. So we do have members that will call in and want to be able to send out a wire. So call center can help out with that. We also help out with payments to make a payment towards your loan. Helping out with our live chat feature that we have online through gainfcu.com. They're able to kind of go ahead and speak with someone right away during regular business hours. Call center also is really big at helping out with card issues. Be like, oh, you know what? My card didn't work at the gas pump. Let's go. Why didn't it work? And call center would be able to solve that issue.
And that's happened to me where I've used my debit card and the transaction doesn't get authorized. I called and the call center rep said, well, your card is turned off. And I was like, oh, of course. So in our mobile banking app, you can turn your cards on and off. And I happen to have mine off. And I forgot to turn it on before I did the transaction. But I turned the card on. Transaction was approved, turned the card off, thereby safeguarding all my information and my funds.
Yeah, that's a big help. I had actually forgotten about that myself. But yeah, that's a really great feature that we have. So call center is really big on helping out our membership. I know a lot of people may assume that, oh, you know what? You really only get that type of service when you go to a teller or you come into the branch, when it's not the case for us.
I'm just curious, how many phone calls a day on average do we receive?
Oh, that can be quite a bit, actually. So on a busy day, back when I was in call center, there were at least 6 or 7 of us. And on a good day, we were taking upwards of like 50 or 60 calls each. So that could be a good time. On a really busy day, I used to take close to like 80 phone calls.
And what number would the member need to dial to get to the call center?
Of course. So that number would be 818-846-1710. And that when you call in, you'll hear Eric's lovely voice over on the other line.
Thanks for the plug. Excellent. So now you're in support services. What are your group's responsibilities and how are they different from the call center where you used to work?
Support is less face-to-face, as we're more of that back end. So our tellers and our call centers are going to be that front line that are able to get all the information so that they can relay it to us in support to kind of process those.
It sounds like support services is a detective agency. So what's the toughest case you've had to handle, detective?
Ooh, toughest case. That would probably have to do with our ATMs that we deal with. So support also deals with our ATMs, and we also deal with issues if a member, let's say, went to Chase and had an issue withdrawing funds from their ATM. So that member would then come to us, and it's my job to contact and reach out to the other institution. And I just couldn't get a response out of them, no matter how hard I tried and was trying to get back, because it's not our members' fault. We want to make sure they're whole and they're being taken care of. In scenarios like that, that's probably the hardest. It's just communicating between our financial institution and a big financial institution like Chase, Wells Fargo, those big banks.
Do you think they have a chip on their shoulder or something?
They're afraid of us.
Excellent. And you mentioned that we do have several ATMs that we own and operate as Gain Federal Credit Union. But we're also part of the co-op network, which has over 30,000 ATMs nationwide, including 4 machines up at Hollywood Burbank Airport and many 7-Elevens and hundreds of locations just nearby the branches that we have. What would happen if a member deposits or has an error on a machine that we don't own and operate, but is part of the co-op network?
It's my job then to contact the service that owns that ATM so that they can go ahead and look at that.
So all this is going on during the business day as we're all going about our business, but support services is there backing up the members and backing up the other departments here at the credit union. Is that right?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. We're here to help out and kind of back up the rest of the departments where they need us. And it's kind of a great feeling to be there, to be able to support the rest of the credit union in the department that I'm in.
It is a great feeling. And just from your experience, how are credit unions differ from banks in that aspect?
My first ever bank account that I ever owned by myself was actually here at Gain. I went through our Independent Advantage program. And I graduated from that and opened up my own account. And then I had an account that I had at another big FI institution where I had a kind of like a custodial account. Parents had money there. That's where they primarily banked. I went in to close out that account because I wanted to take the funds here to Gain. So they transferred the funds over. They had to create a new account just for me. And they put it in a new account. And I said, okay, well, I want to take those funds out. Like I told you when I first came in, but they told me they couldn't do that. They had to put it into a new account first. So I let them do it. And then I go, okay, let me take that cash in a cashier's check. Well, no, it's new cash now. It's a new account. It has to be in there for 5 days. And I just said, what do you mean? With us here at Gain, we, of course, have security cautions. We want to make sure that funds aren't going out that don't belong. But we'll review your account and be like, oh, okay, this was in a different account for so many days. It just got transferred into your account. Those funds are good. We're going to give you those funds. We're going to do our due diligence to make sure that our member leaves happy. And I feel like at a big bank, I was just a number. Here at Gain and a lot of credit unions, you're more than just a number. That's what I truly love about being part of a credit union, banking with a credit union, is I'm getting that more personable feel. And I'm not just, oh, well, I'm one of several million people banking at an institution.
Stephen Flores, Support Services Specialist. Thank you for serving the membership. And thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your stories.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a good experience coming on.
Well, Rune still has to edit this episode, so we'll see what happens.
Hopefully it makes me look good.
That's all for this episode. Please send your comments, questions to podcast@gainfcu.com. Be sure to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Once again, thank you to Stephen Flores, our support services superstar here at Gain, and to producer Rune in the control booth. I ask him, how are things in there, producer Rune?
Oh, hey. While you were chatting, I was taking a class on how to record podcasts. In fact, we're almost done. Hold on. The microphone's connected to the cable. The cable's connected to the interface. The interface connected to the software. And that's how we record one host.
Join us next time because, as you know, there's a lot more to gain.
The views and opinions expressed by hosts and guests of the Better Banking Podcast are not those of Gain Federal Credit Union. Gain Federal Credit Union is insured by the NCUA and an equal housing lender. NMLS number 407810.
Gain Better Banking.